Hi, Fix-It-Tony here. Today's episode is a lubrication episode. I am going to show you my approach to lubricating the side mirrors. These side mirrors go in two different directions. They break in and they also break out. And if you listen closely, here I'm going to bring the microphone up. You're going to hear how it squeaks. And there's almost like a crack or a break, and then there's the release, and then there's the squeak. You can sort of hear a couple different sounds. So what is happening is there's a spring. Let's see here. Yeah. I'm going to try to draw an arrow. That spring is catching, and it's probably got some oxidation on it, just like the other mirror did on the other side that I showed you. So I'm going to clean that little area and then lubricate it. And then there's also pivot points. So this point right here, so this area, this shaft and down there, that is the axis and hinge, I suppose, for the mechanism that breaks the mirror this way. Now the mechanism for when the mirror breaks the other way, outward like that, that's going to be, let me see if I can get this light in there. Right there, I'm gonna point some arrows. So it's another see that I don't have three hands, but hoping you can see right on the edge of the mirror cover a sort of pitted oxidized metal shaft connected top and bottom to sort of like a plastic retaining or hinge pin or pivot point. That there is also going to get lubricated. So first and foremost is going to get my wire brush to sort of clean and scratch the bottom underside of that spring, and then I'm going to apply some heavy grease. I'm going to hold the camera in this position using my little tripod system so you can get in close and see and follow along. What I was doing is getting pliers and straightening the bristles. So now, there you can see what I'm scratching, hopefully. Whoa, dang it. Okay, now I'm going to go get my grease. Okay, so what am I using? I'm using something called extreme pressure moly grease. That's where I got it from. And I'm just using a Q-tip. This is kind of what it looks like. And there we go. Now I'm going to push that open. I'm going to apply it to the crossbar. There's a little crossbar first. This stuff is tenacious. And I'm just wiping the spring down below, right where the bar that the spring engages with, sort of like this crossbar. You can kind of see where my stick is going. There. Okay, so now there you can see how it's moving. If it's moving already better, it's releasing, right? That clip keeps the mirror stable so it doesn't sort of flap in the wind. But it needs to release when something hits the mirror. So it shouldn't have that clicking sound that it initially had. And now it's sort of smooth. If I sort of see my hand in the reflection sort of coming up to the mirror and hitting it. There you see, no noise and it's smooth. All right, so I'm just gonna put a little bit more because I've sort of worked the mirror back and forth. And I want to make sure that all the surfaces are accounted for. There. That's good. I'm happy with that. Next up is lubricating. Oh, jeez. Lubricating the sort of, I guess I call them the hinge pins and the hinge points. I keep synthetic transmission oil, like a Valvoline or whatever, in a glass jar, and then I have these curved fine syringes, and I'm going to use this to get at the areas. So I'm going to get the pin. So the pin is right here. So I'm going to coat the pin, and then I need to get up on top where the pin, whoa, how did that happen? Okay, I must have knocked it over with my microphone. Okay, so I'm just slowly applying the oil to all of the points, and hopefully now this pin here that I just did, its pivot point, it's the pivot for the mirror that I pull toward me. So what I'm doing is pulling the mirror towards the front of the car, and I'm working that pin and mechanism, and hardly any squeaking, and it's hard to see it on the video, but I'm using less pressure now to pull the mirror toward me, and that's kind of what I want to see. I don't think this was ever lubricated. Now, how am I going to get this angle? Yeah, that's not going to work. I got an idea. I'm going to hold on a second. I'm going to try. Hold on a second. Hold on. So here's what I'm doing. I lowered the passenger window, and I'm going to try and set up the mirror. Yeah, I think that's good. All right, so where was I? Okay, so let's see, can you see that? Okay, here it is. So up here, applying oil, and it's going to slowly. The nice thing about this transmission fluid, it's not too viscous but not too loose, and it's synthetic. I feel like it creeps, and it gets into these crevices, I think, much better. And given that it's for the transmission, I would figured from a wear resistance, heat, all that stuff, that is probably pretty good. All right. You can see what I'm doing. Just trying to get the oil to creep in there. Now I'm going to push the mirror towards the rear of the vehicle because that's the mechanism. Now there is another spring. So what you're hearing, there's sort of like a springy, squeaky noise. What you're hearing is there's a coil spring that runs down the front behind this glass mirror on this side, and it connects to an anchor point out here, and it somehow connects to the pivoting mechanism. And it's that spring that's going to keep drawing the mirror back to its home position. Now, that spring, I think, is squeaking a little bit. But I can try coating the spring. This is the spring right here. I'm kind of clicking it. I think that may have solved it. All right, cool. Well, that's it. And right before the winter, it's worthwhile lubricating stuff like this because you're going to find yourself in a parking lot and maybe someone's going to bump into it. These mirrors don't fold in. They just sort of break from a pressure release. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully you got a couple extra tips that can help you in your maintenance of your car. And thank you for watching. Please subscribe, share with others who you think might like this. I appreciate it. At the end of the day, it's all about having fun while trying to stay safe. Be well.